This is our Disruptor series. We're live. Sutherland Park, New Mexico. Joining us now from Iowa, Republican Bill Schafer. He's seeking the Republican nomination in Iowa's 3rd congressional district to go up against Cindy Axne, the Democrat there. And he's an Army veteran, and he's in the race and one of the disruptors trying to change things in Iowa. Hey, Bill, good to have you with us, man.
Good to be with you, and I want to thank you and your audience for another opportunity to talk about my campaign to represent Iowa District 3 at our U.S. Congress. John, I commanded a brigade down there in El Paso at Fort Bliss, Texas, and I want to also thank you for bringing our countrymen the truth about the We Build the Wall project, the great work they're doing and the challenges they face, especially from our obstructionist-type politicians. You know, that wall is extraordinarily important to the sovereignty of our nation. So, you know, it's a 4-part piece. You got to build the wall, you got to resource the Border Patrol agents, you got to improve the E-Verify system in our country, and also very critical to all the other things you've talked about this morning is removing the incentives for businesses and removing the incentives for our government agencies giving away free stuff all the time. You know, this isn't immigration. It's illegal entry into a sovereign nation. You could even call it an invasion. Immigration implies moving to a country and assimilating, and that's not what's happening on our southern border. So thank you for bringing that to our countrymen.
Well, I tell you what, Bill, you have to go here, and I'm so glad that I came. Of course, we're out in the middle of nowhere. You look around, there's a bunch of mountains, but you come here and you look at this wall, and you say to yourself, when I now hear the Democrats, after seeing it myself, and not seeing a prototype, when we first looked at it was a prototype, seeing 2.5 miles of it and talking to real people who live here, right? They live here. When the Democrats come on TV and they say, walls are medieval, we need to build bridges and not walls, and it's surveillance and technology. And look, I'm on the radio. I have no power. They haven't hooked power up since I've been here since, 3:30 a.m. Mountain Time. I believe in technology. But this wall, 2.5 miles, it has stopped illegal trespassing. It has stopped cartels. It has stopped human trafficking in its tracks. So you have the surveillance, you have security and all that, all the technology, but you can't do it without the wall. And so what if you talk to people that live here, here's what they've told me in a day and a half, Bill. They said, we couldn't live here anymore. There were so many illegals, cartels, drug traffickers, human traffickers invading, coming over. The Border Patrol couldn't stop them. They were just mingling in their town. There was a company here which were on their land, American Brick Eagle, and this guy was going out of business. He said, I couldn't run my company. There were so many coming over the border. They'd steal my construction equipment. I couldn't afford the security I needed 24 hours a day. The federal government would do nothing. You know, finally, we built a Wall.US came in and did it, and the Border Patrol was telling me that it has stopped the illegal immigration 100%, not 80% or 90%, Bill, 100%. Like it no longer exists here in this area. So why can't other people see this?
You know, absolutely. And I think one of the reasons, well, I should also add that the elitists that want to tell you we don't need a wall, we need bridges, you know, they all live in gated communities and have walls around their houses for the same reason. And, you know, I believe it's political pandering. It's separating us into groups so that we can be put against each other in order to try to secure voting blocks. I don't have any other understanding of how anybody could think that this nation or any nation can survive with illegal entry pouring into their country and using the resources that are being taken to take care of American citizens.
So, Bill, tell me about your campaign. How do you get the nomination?
So, you know, the campaign is tough for a non-establishment kind of guy, but we're working on it. Since the last time I talked to you, you know, I've had many opportunities at county fairs, a couple of more county central committee meetings. I've gotten great reception from just about every Iowan I've had a chance to talk to, even some who don't politically align with me. They still had a very warm reaction to talking with me. we've got about 10% of the signatures required to get on the ballot right now, which is, I think, a pretty good start. We got about 6 or 7 more months to complete the signature required to get on the ballots. In the meantime, the challenge is, getting the name out and getting to recognize that this is a candidate who's not going to go away. They intends to provide the Iowans of District 3 a choice, and it looks right now like that choice is going to be between an established politician and a not established politician, not even a guy who wants to be a politician. One of your guests mentioned that going to D.C. twice a year was good enough. I have really no desire to go to D.C., but I believe that I'm the right person to go to D.C. for District 3 and help solve problems for our nation.
All right, so look, you want to get there. You want to get to be the nominee. A lot of your detractors are saying, okay, well, if Schafer does win the nominee, he can't win. He can't beat Axne, and your opponent is much better positioned to do that. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, I'm just going to continue to tout my experience, my capabilities, the things that I have done in the Army to be a problem solver, to lead at very high levels. And I'm going to talk to them about my policies and the fact that my desire to get to Congress is to get there on the behalf of the Iowans of District 3. To bring back conservative values to that district, to bring back conservative values to Iowa. My wife and I, after 32 years of service, retired to Iowa because of the people, because it was a red state, conservative state. The people are awesome. The countryside is beautiful. And then last fall, we lost 2 of the seats, so now we have 3 Democrat/liberal seats out of 4 from Iowa, and that's just not good. So I looked at it, and I resigned a director of human resources job working for the Army. After I retired, I took that job on. I resigned that job this spring so that I could run for Congress. If I get to Congress, when I get to Congress, I'm going to deliver this Republican seat. Going to deliver constitutional conservative problem solving for Iowans of District 3. And one of the huge things that's important is I will be a supporter of the president, and I will be a supporter of the conservatives that are already in the House of Representatives.
Well, here's the thing. Your opponent, David Young, got beat by Axne in the midterms in 2018. So, been there, done that. He got beat, didn't do anything when he was there. I just think it's time for change. And here's the problem. To a Congressman Young, former Congressman Young, you were there, you did nothing. You were there when Paul Ryan was there, you did nothing. You did nothing on the budget, you did nothing on the wall. You did nothing. That was like the do-nothing Congress of all time. And then you get beat, even though we got the tax cut passed. You don't run with that. You don't really mention it. You lose. And now you want to run again. Why? Go play with your children or something. Aren't you? I'm just sick of these people. Really, it's like you were there, you lost, you did nothing when you were there. Now you want to go back to do what? Do nothing again? What? Do nothing twice so you can get beat again? What's the point? Go be a Little League baseball coach or something.
Well, I've had the opportunity to meet David Young once, and he's a nice fellow. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I think adding to your point is, nothing has changed from November of 2018, and nothing is going to change between now and November 2020 to indicate that he will successfully defeat this Congresswoman that he lost to last fall. So I think it's at least important to give the Iowans a choice next June. We're looking really good to reelect President Trump. Not that we can stop the work. We've got a lot of work to do, and we can't rest on where we have gotten to at this point. But a second term for our great president is going to be a minor victory, and I think if we don't retake the House, and retake the House with conservative candidates that are going to support the president on the big initiatives like taxes and the wall and other great things that he's working on. You know, the president and some of his supporters, some of the guests that you have on your radio that are big supporters of the president, you know, I really wish that they would take a look at candidates like myself out here trying to run uphill, you know, run against the stream to at least give a choice to the people of the United States in the primaries. A choice that they can choose that the establishment guy, the guy that was there last time, if they want to, but at least have a clear choice. And we're not going to get there unless folks check up on folks like me at Schaferforcongress.com. You know, I had to get that plug in there. SCHAFER forcongress.com. See the truth and the commitment with which I'm making to the people of Iowa District 3, to the people of this country, and the conservatives that are already in Congress. So it would really be great.
Look, Bill Schafer, you got to do this. I think you got a shot because people are tired of the same old stuff. And I had another disruptor on, I think, last week when I was in Atlanta, Brandon Beach, running against somebody in Georgia. And his opponent, Karen Handel, was there, got beat. Now she's running again. And my point was, what's the point? It was my point, basically. She can't win. If you do nominate her, she can't win. And if she does win, she's not going to do anything, just like she didn't do anything the last time. So what's the point? It's pointless. Yeah. It's pointless. Let's go nominate Young again so he can lose to Axne again. Okay, let's nominate Young again, and he doesn't lose to Axne by happenstance. And then he'll go there and do nothing, just like he didn't do anything the first time he was there with Paul Ryan. What did he do? Nothing. Oh, did they build a wall? Do we have funding for that? No. What did they do? What did they do? Did they get the debt down? No. So what exactly did they do when they had the majority? Nothing. Right? They did squat. Did they even get a new AUMF bill? So, did they even do that? Did they even bring it to the floor? Nope, couldn't do that either. So what? You're going to nominate him again so he can be in the same place and he'll probably lose? That's a senseless nomination. Look, I'm sure he's a great guy, but here's my advice to Mr. Young, right? Go coach basketball. Go coach Little League baseball. Go do something that actually matters instead of getting up there again, going back in the swamp, and doing nothing like you just did. Does that make sense, Bill?
It makes sense to me, and again, that's one of the reasons that I decided to run. And I just can't emphasize enough how important it is for teammates across the country, big supporters of the president, especially my teammates in Iowa District 3. Take a look at me. Make sure that I negotiate these waters between now and June and get on the ballot so that you have a choice. You at least have a choice to who we want to send into Congress in 2021 in support of the president.
Well, let's see.
Keep America great.
If your district does that, Bill, but I appreciate your running, and we need more people like you out there to get something done because this is almost like an entitlement. To me, when somebody loses and then they run again, it's like, oh, I just want to get back there and get back in the swamp and get all the perks. And it's like you had your chance, you didn't do anything, and you got beat to boot. So this is like the entitlement thing, and all the establishment gets behind them and all the stuff we've been dealing with. I mean, if you want to go back to the Paul Ryan do nothing, stand for nothing Congress, then I guess Young's your guy. If you want to actually get something done in a second Trump term, get things done, Schafer. Go to Schaferforcongress.com. Schafer. That's SCHAFER. Hey, Bill, I'm out of time. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Hang in there.